Your business's brand is powerful, echoing your soul's aspirations out to your market. The name you choose, the date you launch, the colors you adopt, all vibrate your vision to potential clients. Does your business reflect your aspirations and vision? Welcome to Colors Behind the Brand. Join our live and interactive exploration into the energy of color and numerology behind well-known business brands, special guest case studies, and surprise audience spotlights showing you examples of businesses with soul. And now, here are your hosts, Moira Bush, founder of the Moira Bush Academy for Soul Businesses, and Amy Bell, founder of United Colors of Design magazine.
I always love the clapping. It makes me feel so special.
I love the clapping. It makes me feel like we're in some professional studio.
One day, Moira, one day. Hey, Jessica. Hello.
Hi, Jessica. Nice to see you. Great. We're actually, looks like the technology is on our side tonight, which is great because tonight's show is all about the biggest technology giant on the planet ever.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? It's been a hot topic all over the interweb. It's blowing up everywhere. I don't know why. It seems like it's sort of been in the works for a while, but I guess the release of Mark Zuckerberg's videos and explainers is just blowing everything up. So they're ready.
Yeah. Well, you know, I said to you just before we went live that I'm finding Facebook very frustrating because, you know, you and I both had this experience. We post something in our groups and it comes up on Marketplace. You know, it's like Facebook is hijacking the post and, you know, making it look like we're selling something in Marketplace. And those glitches have been going for a few months now and they've never fixed them. And so it really is an interesting kind of time we're in with Facebook where things are not happening. You know, you just do that, darling. Sorry, we just got some background noise. Michael's going to quickly go sort it out. Something's happened with sound downstairs. The home studio stuff, you know.
Yes.
It's like Facebook hasn't done that. Our groups notifications don't happen. Interaction, sharing. The latest problem I'm having with Facebook is if I put a post up on my timeline, I can't tag anybody.
I just had that today. I couldn't tag you.
Tag nobody, nothing. You can act as way, do the shortcuts as much as you like. It just will not tag. So I think that after tonight's show, what our audience is going to realize is why Facebook isn't bothered with this stuff anymore, because things are going to change in a huge way. I have to tell you that when I looked at Mark Zuckerberg's video about the metaverse, and the reason why they changed the company to Meta, I felt my brain explode. And I actually had to take 2 days to watch it in little segments and repeat the segments to fully absorb what was actually being put out into the world. And I'm so glad that tonight we don't have a guest to focus on. We're really just going to give energy and focus to this monumental change that is coming. Yeah. And it's going to catch people by surprise if they're not ready for it as well, you know, so...
I think the closest thing that I can wrap my head around, there was a movie years ago that was just this, that you lie. I think it had, what's his name? He was married to Demi Moore. Who's that guy?
What's that young guy's name?
No, not the young guy.
Not the young one.
Die Hard guy.
Oh.
Tom Cruise.
No, Die Hard, bald head boy.
Oh, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Yes. Oh my God, that was torture. Bruce Willis was in a movie where the world was, you lay in a bed, you hook yourself in, and then your avatar goes and lives your life for you, and you're watching it through the VR world, right? And so people were like their physical bodies were just getting destroyed because they were going out in these really sexy looking avatars. No, there was no heavy people, there was no unfit people, there was no ugly people. Everybody was their beautiful avatar, or the beauty that they saw. They were going into underground clubs and acting, you know, a little risque because they could, because their body wasn't involved.
Michael just said the movie's called Surrogates. You
Yes.
just Googled it for us. Surrogates.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. So this is how I see the metaverse, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like, what does that mean? I can't wait, because you've done this research and I'm looking at it for the first time. I did a little bit of the numerology, but not to the extent that you did. But yeah, I'm just thinking, what the heck is going to go on with our world? It's going to be like a parallel universe in this invisible space.
Well, I think what we'll do tonight is I'll just share what I've gathered for us, but you know, again through the lens of numerology and colors, and have a little look-see into it. I'll just give you a little bit of background. What's happening is the internet's evolving. It is becoming where the internet is kind of like a flat screen. So the way you and I are working our business right now, and to share our knowledge and educate people about color numerology, this in 5 to 10 years would not work. This is not how technology will not be supporting this kind of platform. It is going to change. It's going to go into what is called the metaverse. So let's pop over to you know, to some of the slides, and we just talk through it and share it with the audience and see how they've you know, what they feel about that. Shall we do that?
Yes. So what I'm thinking about is you and I could be, you know, you could be sitting right here with me.
Yes, yeah, we could actually be in a virtual studio. The thing I did want to say about the avatars and what was so different about where the Surrogates movie with Bruce Willis, you mentioned that they had these avatars that were perfect. Where Mark Zuckerberg is wanting to take it is that the avatar looks like you actually look. Which then, you know, he mentioned they will have the added problems of keeping your identity for you, and that someone doesn't steal your identity, you know. So different as a visual identity instead of a passport or a driver's license or some kind of other documentation. So it's very interesting where they're going with this. Let's have a look here. So let me just see if I can. Is it working? There we go. All right. So the history of the internet here is officially all computers and networks could connect. So they consider the 1st of January 1983 as the first real internet kind of connection, proving that cross-pollination, different networks could connect. I mean, really, computers and network came out in the 1960s already, but it wasn't able to, you know, connect in the way that we know internet until the 1st of January 1983. And of course, with that, you're sitting with the number 23 and 5 when you add that birth date of the official birth date of the internet up. And what's interesting, what I loved, is that it was a 23 and a 5 that says this is the day that the internet went out into the world. 23 is about initiation and 5 is about communication. And of course, that's exactly what businesses found. When the internet was born, we all went through this massive initiation of having to ditch papers and typewriters and you know, word presses and all these equipment we had for computers and the internet. And so we had this huge initiation to a new way of communication. And it's kind of what we're facing now with the metaverse coming in. We're facing exactly the same challenge. So I don't know, that just was something that was very interesting. The internet had 23.5 also as its face to the world. So it was born on the day, but it also had 23.5, bizarrely. You know, once you see these patterns, when you start doing them, right, when you start looking at the numbers, also they said, hey, we are here to initiate you into a new way of communication. So that was very interesting. Then the internal workings was 19, 10, and 1, and really 19 says initiations will be successful and it will be completed, and 10 is about the Wheel of Fortune. So that if you got into the whole internet and the whole .com era, you would have made a fortune, which people did. So it just love that they had that as part of their numerology. Then the total, Amy, came to 42 and 6. And there the bloomin' indigo comes up again. So repeating patterns here. And then, of course, pink and green are complementary colors. So, you know, the whole kind of total came to intuition again. And it felt like it was, you know, what they were saying is the pink was saying you can connect to loved ones, and pink is also about money, you know, so that you connect to people and you can make money. So the whole internet boom and the process of communication evolution, literally, that it put us into, it had that peppered number 6 love stuff in it. But I also think that people who believe in the Bible's prediction that when you see the number of the beast, 666, is going to be like the end of the world, right? It's kind of like a, you know, just the huge change that they talk about. So people might fear that, you know, that 6 is was the beginning of the end of life as we know it. So I wonder if that surrogate movie was that far behind.
No, I don't think so. But I know when I first started using the internet, more like 95-ish was when I was kind of introduced to it. I loved it. I mean, I couldn't wait. I was getting annoyed if someone didn't have an email address because I did not want to deal with the mail. And it seemed like the internet matched my speed of wanting to get things done at that time. And even though it was dial-up, it was still faster than sending snail mail, really. Yeah. So I just loved the whole introduction of it. I know some people fought it, but and yes, some people think it was the end of, you know, the good old
and very soon, after the internet was, you know, was available, 1983 is the year Michael was born. So I in about 1986, 87, I was working at a shoe manufacturing company, and we were making Bally's and these really posh shoes, which is like equivalent to Jimmy Choo's and that kind of brand. And I loved working with the clients and helping them come up with designs and getting the work and combining the designer with the manufacturer, with the client, with the salespeople. I mean, it was just fantastic. And all these computers were coming in and linking all these departments to, you know, because they could now communicate through the internet, right? So if somebody made a sale, it, you know, you could put the sale in and print out in the factory, in the industrial factory, the specs to print the shoes. So this was all great. Yeah. And what IBM was doing at that time was going around to companies and IQ testing the ability for people to do coding for computers, because there was just not enough people trained to work with computers and to work with the internet and to kind of do the background work. And I got the highest score in the company, and the IBM wanted to headhunt me at that point and poach me. But I enjoyed sales and being with people, so I didn't take it up. Maybe I should have.
Yes.
My life, but
well, I know what's coming up on the following slide, so I want whoever's watching right now to like keep in mind some of these numbers that you're seeing, because we got a mind
that's going to blow your mind.
Yeah, we're going to drop a bomb at the end of this, baby.
Yeah. So I'm in a way doing coding still through numbers, right? So this is where I was going with that line. Okay, so the metaverse comes to a 20 and a 2 as its face to the world, which is a copper, magenta, and blue energy. Not too worried about these numbers right now, because I really just, we're going here with the process. What I liked about the internal working 16-7, there sits that tower energy, saying we're going to change the foundations of anything to do with the internet, because 7 is turquoise. So towers coming in, the internet's going to change. But what I wanted to focus on here was the 36-9, because 36 is a gateway. And that the blue violet's about spirituality, and the red and the 9 is all about the material world.
Look at Jessica. She's commenting, I sense something to do with 369 coming up. Jessica.
Oh yeah. What people are going to have to get used to with the metaverse is the terms, these technical terms that are coming in. It's augmented, interactive, virtual. It's about reality. It's immersive, virtual reality and immersive. These are the kind of language. There's a new language, technical language that's coming out. It's been around in the movies, and it's been around in the people developing this kind of tech in the background. But it definitely is going to become part of, you and I are going to be having conversations, and these words are going to be peppered in when we talk about creating a show for people. So I wanted to just put those couple of words in there.
Well, if I can just interrupt for 1 second, I have actually been in the metaverse. My son has those augmented reality, the virtual reality glasses.
The Oculus.
Is it the Oculus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I have never had an experience like I had wearing those things. They're quite heavy, and you've got the little wristy things. So, and we played games in it, and I think it's one of the Google rooms. I don't think it's Google rooms, but there's I think it's called Slack, right? That's some sort of connectivity software platform that people use to do meetings and stuff. So there is an ability for Slack to connect with Oculus, and you can go in and do these virtual meetings in the space with one another. I just played a game, and it was unbelievable.
Well, what Mark Zuckerberg was saying is the challenges they have is they know this can happen, but the technology still has to be invented. So what they're doing is they're taking these huge big goggles, the Quest, and they're going to do a Quest 2, where it's going to look like a normal pair of glasses. And you and literally within the frame, you're going to be within the metaverse, just by having layers of lenses and a normal fancy, nice pair of specs on your eyes. So that is how do you put screens, and how do you put sensors, how do you put audio, how do you put everything into the frame? That is part of the technology hardware kind of challenges that they're going to have, is to take the big goggles and go down to glasses. But definitely what the Metaverse's 36.9 is saying is this is going to happen. And in fact, they're developing certain aspects of this technology already and testing it out on the world. This is the gateway to the next level. This is going to be a technical evolution. And what I liked about the kind of blue, violet, and the red heaven and earth colors, because that's kind of heaven on earth, heaven being being I'm spiritually connected, and red being I'm on earth. So I think it's going to show humanity a different way to enjoy being a human. And it might be like a surrogate, like the movie, where you get lost in the mind of things. But when computers first came out, we were told, computers are going to automate things for you, and you can have so much free time to be with your family and have fun and have vacations and enjoy the planet. And of course, that didn't happen. We ended up, our lives, our souls are literally sold to our desktops and our devices. And now they're saying the same thing with the multiverse. No, you're not going to get sucked in. It's going to give you this interactive thing, and with people you love, and it's going to be about connecting. And I'm like, I wonder where this is going to go. But there is this promise, there's this intention with the metaverse numerology that we will experience a heaven on earth.
Well, I do think, because when you're going into the next set of numerology, it's there.
Yeah. So the avatars, I did want to mention the avatars, these are little screenshots taken from Mark Zuckerberg's presentation that he does, about an hour and a half long presentation that is really very brilliant. I mean, what he was saying in this little segment was somebody sitting at home and their friend says, hey, I'm at a concert, why don't you join me? But they live in two different parts of the world. So what happens is your avatar can actually go and be present in there. So you can see the friend who's there, and then you can see the avatar.
Yes, I saw this bit.
Version, I just saw that bit. And then what happens while you're there, the celebrity on stage who is at the concert can say, hey, let's have a after party, and you're all invited. Now, in the real world, that's dangerous. You can't have strangers coming up to celebrity. They wouldn't know how to behave with them. They'd be a danger. But if everybody was in their avatar, and that is what they showed us, you can be at the after party. And while you're at the after party, guess what? You can shop for merchandise. And so this is where the metaverse is going. By the way, guys, if you want to watch this, go to that link there. It's about.facebook.com/meta, and I'll be flashing it up on every screen for you. and this is just isn't it fascinating stuff, Amy?
Yeah, unbelievable. I saw this bit, and you've got live people interacting with avatars, and everybody's sort of like, yeah, that's normal. It blows my mind. Like, we're gonna be,
Imagine who's your favorite celebrity that you enjoy, and you can actually be at a party with them, but you're in your avatar.
yeah.
So you can't be acting silly or stumbling over what to say or getting flushed with when this famous person comes at you, because you're in your avatar, so they're in their avatar. You can't assassinate them. If it's somebody you don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
A terrorist meeting, and I want to steal your market, and I'll just kill the leader because you're in your avatar. So violence is just not going to be able to happen in the metaverse.
Yeah,
we're told it.
Well, NFTs are also going to be it's called non-fungible tokens, and it is a way to purchase or put value on a creation within this online space. So artists who are creating things, like even say that sweatshirt, somebody had to digitally create that sweatshirt, and so to stop people from stealing it, and you have to have a value on it, and so that's where the NFT and for the virtual merch came up. But artists are using it for their online digital work, and it's quite huge. It's like got something to do with cryptocurrency. So in one of our next upcoming United Colors of Design, we'll be discussing the ins and outs and NFT for dummies, because I don't know much about it. And also, I believe we'll be extending this conversation of the metaverse in the magazine for January. So
Absolutely.
It's a big topic. It's gonna,
Wow. No, that it's huge. It's the beginning of a whole new way on living on the planet and experiencing technology.
Yeah.
The question about the metaverse is this a revolution or an evolution? And I think what's going to happen, and I actually I mentioned this to Melissa the other day in a chat, the founder of Color Mirrors, that some people are saying that this is just devil's work and it's going to be bad for us, and it's going to be like that surrogate movie that you mentioned. But I'm of the opinion that it is evolution, but I think people who see it as a revolution and they want to resist the change, or they don't want to go along with this, it might be a past life linked back to Atlantis, where they had utopia in Atlantis, and the theory is that these alien beings came from Mars, heavy technology orientated, and replaced a lot of what we would do on a natural basis. For example, it's like we're living right now. Instead of having telepathy, which we used to have in Atlantis, you have the internet. You can connect you to anybody, right? And you have the phones, and you have Wi-Fi. And it's that kind of replacing what can be natural energy, almost soul gifts, with technology. And that is what a lot of people might fear the metaverse is going to be all about. So those people who see it as a revolution, it might be an opportunity to just go back and heal a judgment or a trauma or something somewhere in your psyche that relates to Atlantis and the fall of Atlantis, the rise and fall.
Question. This just popped into my brain, and maybe it's been in other people's brains. I find it interesting, and maybe I'm just late to the tea party here about metaverse. I don't know. When was that launched? When did Mark Zuckerberg put that on the website? Wasn't it?
I've got the dates. I've got the dates coming up. I don't have them in my head right now. Can you just hold that one for a moment, and then we'll look at it.
Yeah, on the heels of a pandemic where everyone is so afraid to leave their house, we now have this conversation about a universe where you don't have to leave your house, where you can be disease-free and feel all safe in your own environment, in your own bubble, right? I find it strange that now's the time he's decided to pop it out. There has to be some kind of connection there.
No, not really. It's the dates. The dates are important. They tell you that the timing is perfect. Yeah, no, we'll
Well,
hang on, let
perfect.
me get to those dates. Let's examine that when the dates come up on the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just finish this little one here. For anybody considering whether they're going to resist this kind of technology or whether they're going to see it as evolution, embrace it, and walk forward with it, just be aware that it's going to impact every single bit of your life. I've just listed a few things there. It's going to impact the way, for people, the kids who like gaming, the way physical fitness works. We already got Peloton, so we kind of know that, gyms are changing.
Yeah.
It's going to change sports. You can have a sporting event with your avatar, and you don't even, have to be at the same meetup. It's going to, all your events, whether they're social, business, family, charity, funerals, weddings, going to change. You already mentioned art, art, augmented art. People can buy art. Sightseeing is going to change. You can teleport to Rome and go and walk around, walk around Rome and see things without you having to get on a plane and buying a ticket to get there. The remote office is here to stay. When the pandemic was to prove to us that you don't have to go to a big high-rise building that costs zillions to build and maintain and to pay rent, when all your workers can work from home. So the way your office is going to work is that you are going to just be in what looks like an office block, but you're going to be at home, and you're going to be interacting with all the other workers as if you're in a building. So you're going to turn up to the office, but the office is located as electronic data in the metaverse. So it's mind-blowing, right? Can you imagine? I mean, this is, again, if you are working in the metaverse, you're going to be saving the environment. This is what Mark Zuckerberg keeps saying. He says all these plane rides you don't have to take, all this roads you don't have to build, the pollution from the cars. I mean, it can change the planet and add to the healing of the environment of the planet. Education in the metaverse as well. There's a slide there of a kid who's sitting on the balcony with her grandmother, and the next thing they're having, this educational package on astronomy pops up, and it feels like they're immersed in the learning experience. Yeah, and again, the digital and physical goods, like buying something that's been made digital, but you can also buy physical goods to be delivered to your door. Yes, it's all going to change. So the way we shop is going to change. So the products we create. So I'm thinking, your rainbow bottles here, right? It's like, how the heck are we going to sell that in the metaverse? So Missy made you this beautiful rainbow warrior bottle. How do we sell this? We're going to have to learn this. We can't resist this technology, because if we want to stay in business, we have to figure this out. We're going to have to learn.
Well, yes, now we'll just have more beautiful photos of the digital compositions of the photo of the bottle, so people can see it and they order the physical copy to their house. So yes, I think the imagery is going to be better. What I'm interested in is, am I going to can I adjust my oculars so that I don't have to wear glasses in the metaverse? I would be so happy.
Yeah, and actually in that, there's the link again in that presentation by Mark Zuckerberg. He covers that. So let's have a look at Facebook and Meta. So Facebook was actually launched on the 4th of February 2004. So we're just getting to those dates that you were asking about earlier. So they're at 12.3, and again, their 12 is heaven on earth, and 3 is expansion, Jupiter, go out into the world as big as you can. So the date Facebook was launched is all about the big message. Mark Zuckerberg date of birth was important as well. He's a 32.5. What's interesting is that the internet's official launch was 1983, and he was born the following year, 1984. So it's almost like he couldn't be born with his set of instructions from whatever planet he came from to change this planet's technology. He couldn't do that until the internet had been established, right? So like the next year he goes, right, I'm there, And he's a 32.5. So he is, and 32 is communication, and 5 is Mercury, and the planet of communication. So he came completely encoded to communicate. And 14 is technology, the date he was born. So his whole date of birth is just internet communication. That's it. Yeah. So this is his on purpose. Facebook, look at that 13.4.
Yeah, it did do some disrupting and transforming, and it was, yeah, 100%. I can see that. So the 4 bottle is the Uranus bottle, which is all about change and disruption, being the disruptor, being in that energy. And then 13 is 13 is the Pluto planet.
Yeah, death and regeneration.
Yeah. So on the outside looking in, there were many people who have been disrupted in their own lives. I mean, when this first came out, people were having affairs. They were cheating on their partners. They were getting into trouble. They were like, all as much good as it brought with it, it had an opposite effect on people as well. Like, people were cursing Facebook but loving Facebook.
Yeah. And that 13 set Facebook up for several rebirths and several reinventions and several deaths. So, Facebook as it is now, the kind of evolution it's going to go through. And I actually have the next phase of Facebook to show you in the next slide as well, because it's going to change. That 13 said that was going to happen. Then the inner workings of Facebook was interesting, because that was an 18 and a 9. And 18 is spiritual material conflict, and 9 is Mars, endings and beginnings. So if we look at how Facebook is run as a company and who are the people in there, I think it makes sense for me. I like the rose, pink, and 18, because it says here that women played an important role, even though it was founded by men and it was their idea. They have a lot of female creative heads of departments in Facebook, and I think that 18 allows that female energy, that rose pink energy, to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think 9 Mars was also, it's volcanic but also creative. So I think their working environment can get quite heated. I would imagine, yeah, the internal workings. And then there's 31.4, 4 again.
Yeah. Big disruption, big disruptor. Yes, Judy, we are in the matrix. 100%. Who else do we have here talking? Some of the people, I can't see your faces. So
yeah, we can just see your comments. Somebody said, this is like a dream. Gee whiz, when and how will I catch up with all this technology?
That's
so
Nadira.
Yeah, we can't see your names because you've not accepted the StreamYard. You're not given StreamYard permission to put your Facebook profile picture up with your comments. So we just see a blank spot. So real apologies if we can't talk to you right
personally.
away.
Yeah. And one person is saying people, especially kids, are losing social skills. Not sure the lack of real people contact is a good thing. Well,
that's Heather saying. That's Heather saying that.
Heather
Bain.
Oh, yes.
Somehow Michael on his, just a technology side note, somehow Michael on his system when he's in, but he's in Facebook feed, he can see them, but you and I can't see them in the studio.
Yeah. I think when you see the numbers for Meta, I don't know that I think it's just going to be an environment where, oh, I've got a mosquito in here. Sorry, squirrel. I don't know. I think there's online etiquette that children, these star children that came through, who've only ever known the internet, who've never known being face to face. This is, they get it. They understand it. We've had our foot in both worlds. So it's a little difficult for us to kind of shift over, but I'm trying not to be like, our parents, where you're like, oh, I wish the world would go back to where it was. I don't wish it would go back, but I do think that the kids of today are going to probably interact much better in this other environment.
Yeah, and the level of the quality of interaction they're going to do is that even if you're in a metaverse room and your avatar wants to pick up a cup, you're going to be feeling it. You can actually feel the cup. So the sensors that they're doing, it's not that it's going to be completely cut off and your avatar is like you're watching your avatar as the third person. You're going to be sensing and feeling everything that the avatar is experiencing. That's what they plan. They want to make it as interactive and as live and real as that.
crazy.
So it's going to be crazy for kids to differentiate between what's real and not. That I think is going to be a topic of discussion in the future. Right, let's have a look at Meta. So this is the news. So this is really just the parent company that changed. Facebook is still Facebook for the social media platform that we're on, like, you know, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, and all those social media companies. Meta is the overall, because it used to be Facebook Incorporated. Now Meta has become the big name. And Mark Zuckerberg changed that on the 28th of October, 2021. And look at that date. You see there, 16:7, the tower, the tower, the tower. Again, the tower coming in saying we are going to change technology. 7 is turquoise, is about technology.
Mm-hmm.
But
where did that appear? We saw this on the previous screen, but which one was it for?
That was on the internet.
The word internet. Yeah. Okay.
So, at least I think it was. Mark Zuckerberg says that they chose the name Meta because it comes from the Greek word meaning beyond, because the barriers they're breaking is beyond anything we can even imagine now, and it's going to be even bigger than what we can conceive around the metaverse. But Meta, and here we go, guys, hold on to your numbers. Meta is a 6 in the consonants and a 6 in the vowels. 6, 6.
Love and money.
Yeah, there comes that 12. Can you see the launch of Facebook when it was launched? It's mirrored in the metaverse, the 12 and 3. Yeah, that energy is mirrored there. So again, 12 is about bringing heaven and earth together, and 3 is that expansion beyond anything anybody can comprehend. And you remember 3 is coral, and coral is the complementary to turquoise. Turquoise is about the technology. So that bluey kind of 8 abundant kind of figure as their logo that they have there, it speaks about infinity, abundance, flow, expansion. It's just it's there. It's
you know what? I am just so blown away.
Yeah.
Wow. Who out there has pink or corals or the indigos or violets in their company name? I don't know that, unless you're knowing about how to calculate the numerology, you may not know that. But if you have these colors in your branding, just pop it in the chat and we can highlight that. But there's, oh my goodness, this makes me feel so good about what the project I'm working on right now. I could pee my pants, actually. Okay. I won't pee my pants, but I like it. Just, I'm getting really excited about this.
Well, what Mark Zuckerberg was saying is their focus is, they still focus on Facebook, but their main focus now is definitely on the metaverse and creating. And there's like 600,000 people working on the metaverse, but not just Meta company, but partners, people that they're, because that's what that 3 is. We need partners in. He said they've realized they cannot do this on their own. They have to bring other super brains in from other different technology backgrounds. So, you know, Meta is not on their own doing this. This is going to be a global technology kind of mass brain collective that is going to create the metaverse. It's not just Mark Zuckerberg. So must keep that in mind, because he's not the face of the multiverse. Multiverse is going to be absolutely the face of any super guru out there that can create the technology, the hardware and the software to have the metaverse, become that reality.
Aren't they opening it up to everyone and anyone who can develop things? So it's not just this.
That's what they're doing.
The ability to create, like we're creating these slides with PowerPoint, or we're creating, someone's making these clothes. The metaverse will be open to anyone to be able to create virtual clothing or virtual presentations in a virtual environment. It's just crazy.
And I mean, that's what that 3 is, that Jupiter. If you want to really, and keep this in mind for your own businesses, for our viewers that are watching, if you're serious about expansion and success and getting yourself out into the world, partnering and kind of, not isolating yourself and going, well, I can do this all by myself. That's not the way that you're ever going to expand and get successful. And Mark Zuckerberg and certainly the Meta company, they know this. So it's opened up. One of the things he said in that video that I really found very interesting was how he said he learned from Facebook. Facebook, it kind of went out there, and then the regulators and the people who like to put legal systems in place had to try and play catch up. And Facebook just expanded at such a rate they couldn't keep up. So there was, the stealing of information and false information going out. And, so of course, Facebook got into trouble with that. So what they're doing now is, instead of launching the metaverse onto the world and saying, here we are, like he did with Facebook, he's saying this is what we're going to launch, so that already now regulators and people who write the legal papers and the securities around creating this kind of platform can be involved and go along for the ride and not have to play catch up. So this announcement of the Meta company is a way to alert people, hey, things are going to change and you can get involved now.
Yeah.
I like that he did it that way.
Yeah.
So the new platform for interacting in the metaverse, remember I said Facebook's kind of going to get taken over, and it's going to be Horizon, and there's going to be the Horizon Home, the Horizon Worlds, the Horizon Workroom. So it's kind of going to be the social platform and work platform, and global platforms for us to begin to connect in whatever capacity we need it. So Horizon, I thought I wanted to have a look at this Horizon word. And the outer came to a 30 and a 3, which is the turquoise, again, technology, and 3, again, expansion. So it's going to happen, and there's 3 of them. There's home, worlds, and workrooms, right? So love it. And then the internal was a 21-3, which is the key. This is the key to opening up the door to the 3 energy, which is the multiverse, literally. And the total is 51, which is C15 and 6. So suddenly the horizon is you and your higher self becoming one. Literally what they're saying is you and your avatar becoming one, if you had to translate it to the technology world. And there sits that 6 love stuff again. Love us or hate us, but we're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about those, Amy?
I love all of the expansion energy in there. I mean, when I think about the combinations of words and numbers and how they can turn out, the fact that these patterns are showing up, the 3s are showing up, the 6s are showing up, the turquoise technology is showing up all across the board. It's not even in, Mark Zuckerberg's name, even in the dates that they chose. Like, I don't anticipate that they went to their numerologist and said, what's the most auspicious day? It's just intuitively, this is when it happened. And so that all tells a story, which is what makes the branding so much better. I hope you're listening, Mark Zuckerberg, because we can add some of this energy into your logo and into your branding, and we can amp it up even more. But you do have a lot of great energy, expansion energy going on there. So
well, shall we blow their minds now? Those
yes, let's do that.
Those who studied numerology, and we'll know exactly where we're going with this. But hopefully, the rest of our audience who are planning on studying numerology will understand why we're so passionate about it. But yeah, so here goes. So if you think about this, when we did the Tesla, we spoke about how Nikola Tesla said that if we understood the patterns of 3, 6, and 9, we will have this key to unlimited energy. It's literally understanding how the universe works. And this is also in the context of sacred geometry and how we explain that all in our numerology classes, right? So just think about this. So the magic numbers in a business being completely and utterly successful literally is 3, 6, and 9. So just have a look. Meta comes to a 3. The internet was a 6 and still will be a 6. It'll still be there. It'll just go through its evolution. Metaverse is a 9. That brings that it's just crazy that these are the and if you think about the metaverse, it will be unlimited.
Yeah, that I have been somewhat obsessed with the whole 369 concept, and since we discussed it in one of your classes, and the words that I'm coming up with are just intuitively got a lot of these numbers in it now. And I don't know if it's because I know it, or if it's just happening that I'm in tune with it or what, but it's showing up and it's really exciting. And so to see that, this thing that I'm creating and what's happening over here in this metaverse and Facebook and all of that is kind of lining up. I'm very excited about it. And I the choral energy is always very interesting to me.
Yeah. And then if you think about it, I've been working with this color mirror system for 18 years now. And the 3, 6, and 9 is their numerology as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if this color system and these colors have got the answer to that, what is unlimited energy. So, with the meta internet and metaverse having this unlimited technology, in color mirrors, we're sitting with this energy of unlimited spiritual information and knowledge and connecting you up to, your soul. So it's mind-blowing when you look at the 3, 6, and 9s, yeah, and that it's in color mirrors. I mean, that's why you and I just love this system so much. And that's why people are automatically drawn to it. It's like they know the system has some kind of magic.
I think, Moira, that this particular topic could be a workshop on its own.
Yeah.
Just going, because I mean, we zip through those names, we zip through the information really quickly here, but I think you could do a workshop on this and just do deep dive, because metaverse is huge. It's going to impact us all, whether we like it or not like it. So perhaps the colors, the color mirrors could be a gentle introduction to see it through color, to see what the energy is behind it, so that you can go into it, or people that might see it as a revolution as opposed to an evolution. They could maybe be okay with it.
Yeah.
When you look at it through the lens of color, right?
I'm actually, I haven't even mentioned this to you, but I've set aside 5 days, a 5-week course in January 2022 for a numerology course, where I'm going to tackle this. I think I'm going to do a webinar, and people can come on the webinar, find out more about it. But I've actually booked into my calendar the first 5 Mondays, or the 5 Mondays in January 2022 to do a numerology program again. Because I think especially beginning of a year, is really great to get to grips with some of the numbers and understand it, and plan your year ahead, and think about how you can look at things that might potentially crop up for you.
Yeah.
And through the lens of colors and numbers. Yeah.
Will you be doing your predictions?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're going to come out as well. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So I'm really looking forward to that. I know lots of people are. It is my year-end good times workshop that I love to do, and take your course. So that's coming up, people, because Moira she spends months getting ready for the predictions for the following year. And I've been doing it for the last 3 years, I think. And it just like the energy of next year, or last year, the energy of 2021 was hitting me at the end of 2020. And so when Moira, you published your course, and I'm looking at it going, what? I think there was something about me doing something, going into a vegetarian diet, and I had just started it in the November. So like, I don't even know how you do it. I don't want to know how you do it. It's your thing, but I do love the information that's in it. So we have to make sure we get that somehow with the numbers and how.
Yeah, and I mean, we spoke about this technology boom in the predictions already in 2020, when I made a huge and I actually still have the 2020 predictions up for sale just for $20 on my academy, because the information is there, where I speak about how technology is going to evolve and how fast it's going to happen. And anybody thinking, hey, I'll wait until it happens, you've got to understand it's already in progress. So within the next 5 to 10 years, that is going to be how we're going to do it. Think about your website. So how much money and time have you invested creating a website? And that has to change.
Yeah.
So the technology that holds your website, that the back end of your website, and how you're going to create your shops to sell your products through a web shop, for example, all of it is going to change. And you're just going to have to keep up with this. It's here. It's 369. It's here to stay.
Yeah.
Not going to go away.
Yeah. Well, this has been really great. I just wanted to mention, if you're watching on YouTube, you should subscribe to the channel so that you can be notified when we go live. Also join our United Colors of Design TV group so that you can keep hearing these cool stories. Maybe there might have to be a part 2 at some point of this one, once we learn more, once we see more. And then obviously, this workshop that you're doing. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Moira, for doing the heavy lifting today. Thank you.
I love it, girl. It was, I went down the rabbit hole with that one, but I
I bet you did. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.